So, for anyone who doesn't know, what is indoor percussion?
Percussion inside.
Indoor percussion, basically, marching band inside, but without all the horns and woodwinds. Just the drum line, front ensemble in a gym, just playing a bunch of fun music.
Indoor is definitely a lot faster. We learned a whole movement in one day, and that's unheard of in marching band. The techs also have a lot smaller of a group to work with, so we get more individual feedback.
The audition process is more rigorous than it is during marching band, so you can't just have anybody go in and join. Everyone has to try out and have some sort of experience.
Outside, you're not listening to the percussion that much, let's be honest. You're listening to the winds and all the fancy little flutes and going off. But here, we are the ones you want to watch. You want to watch us, just like have fun with our instruments.
It's definitely a lot more like emotional, I guess you could say. Like it's less strict. You're more flexible to do like more movements and just like really perform.
A lot of people think that it's just a big scary thing where you have to be strong, focused, and like the entire time, but it's actually more of a, you need to have fun. Of course you need to stay focused during practice and learn your music and visuals and things, but it's a very fun activity.
Mauldin High School's indoor percussion ensemble has only been active for 4 years.
We'll see.
Within that time, the group ranked up from Scholastic Class A to Scholastic Open Class and made history by becoming the first percussion group from Greenville County to reach semifinals at WGI Grand Nationals in 2022. Indoor percussion got its start in the late 80s to early 90s, when percussion sections of marching bands and drum corps started putting on their own marching shows. The activity became more organized, nationally and locally, through organizations like Winter Guard International, or WGI, and the Carolina Winter Ensemble Association, or CWE. Typically an organization for indoor color guard competitions, WGI created a competitive division specifically for percussionists in 1993. At its first percussion championship that year, there were only 9 ensembles. According to the organization, there are now over 500 percussion ensembles that compete today. These ensembles are categorized in a similar fashion as indoor color guard. They are divided into 2 groups, and then they are assigned a class based on their skill level.
Usually for practice, we go in, we do sectionals with people who play the same instruments. Then we work on like different music from the show, and then we'll usually get together with the drum line and go through different parts of the show together. And that's twice a week, sometimes 3 times, for like 3.5 hours each. And then on competition days, we get up early usually and we warm up, then we perform on the floor, we get to watch other groups. They usually have concessions, all that fun stuff. And then after all the groups have performed, we find out what place we got. And sometimes there's finals, sometimes there's just one show and then you're judged based on that. But yeah, it's really interesting seeing like all the different groups and they're doing the same activity as you and you can see what they've done compared to what you've done.
Guys, how are you feeling about that last run?
Horrible. Guys, talk to the camera. Yo,
Woo, go Mavs! Go Mavs!
It wasn't good. It was not good.
Get this guy out of here. It was a solid run. It was okay. It
could have been a lot better. I didn't have one of my props.
Oh, okay.
The year we started doing indoor percussion, which was my first year too, I was in 8th grade. I played bass drum. It was like a cooking show. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but we had the uniforms from the group that had won the WGI finals in Dayton the year before.
For 2021, I moved here, and that show was Forever Young, Vampires. That was a lame show. It wasn't made to be a show to be performed, it was just made to give us something to do.
Vampire show, Forever Young. uncomfortable costumes, but we made it work.
And then last year, my junior year, we had Pressure. And that was like we were in a factory and pressure kept building up, like the pipes were about to explode, and at the end they kind of do explode. And then this year, it's just a very fun cowboy show. We're in the Wild West in a saloon, and there's like a bar fight.
It's such an advancement from where Pressure kind of left off, because it left us in a really good state. And then this show is just completely building upon the fundamentals that Pressure set up. And now we're here, the music is really hard, but everyone's really loving it.
Definitely my favorite indoor show that we've had at this school so far. I think that the fun of the honky-tonk and the yeehaws with the story of Bo and the bartender, I think that everything, I think that we're really coming together.
Characters for indoor shows is kind of a new thing for Mauldin Percussion. Can you give me an idea of like what's been like to play characters?
Do you want to go first?
So basically, you have to, like, instead of going for the music and playing it, you have to go off the music. But, like, you can't go too much off the music because then you'll be out of time. So then you have to focus around all your surroundings, too.
Yeah, as a character, what he said with the music, you have to listen and kind of, like, figure out what everything is like and what sound effects play during certain times. But, like, there's a huge impact and see what can I do with that impact. Like a cup slam, a rag slam, a smacking the snares, anything to add impact.
Starting back from my freshman year at my old school, that was a show called Confined. That was about a pandemic in 2020. Indoor died for a good year when COVID hit.
The middle of our very first indoor season, my freshman year, it abruptly got cut off. They're like, oh, you have 2 weeks off of school. That ended up being the rest of the year.
It gave Alex, Taylor, and all of the staff a lot of time to think about what our skills were, what we needed to work on.
It kind of revived a little bit in 2021 when we did Forever Young, but we didn't really compete, so I would barely call that a revival, just a little pulse, really.
And it was kind of an escape from the mess that COVID was. I feel like ever since then, we've been a lot stronger.
It was very cool to get everyone together again to be able to do something that we love, even though there was like a whole pandemic. But we did it safely, and the next year, luckily for Pressure, we were able to get out and do lots of fun stuff.
The best 5 days of my life, probably. So Grand Nats it's a huge deal, obviously. It's in the name, Grand Nationals. Like, everyone is here in Dayton, Ohio, the best place to be. And it's basically just the best of the best showing off their stuff.
Dayton was a very interesting thing because it was Mauldin's first year going. So it was new for everyone.
It was so cool to see what we had done in 3 years actually, and with COVID in the middle of that.
I thought, given that we got bumped up to a different class, almost making finals at Dayton, I feel like that it was a pretty successful year.
It's just being in front of hundreds of, maybe even thousands of people, both in person and online watching. It's just like, whoa, this is what it's all about. Everything we've done has led to this moment. It's such a bizarre feeling, but it's a really cool one. I can't even put into words completely.
In a shocking turn of events, the person making this documentary is a band kid. So I joined middle school band with no real idea if I had any musical talent, but that decision led me down this path, led me here to Mauldin Percussion, the Mauldin Front Ensemble. Like, I always say the best thing about like my time at Mauldin is just band. I don't think high school would have been nearly as fun. I don't know what I would have done without the amazing people I've met in Front Ensemble and just band in general. Today's our last competition. It sucks. It's gonna be over, but I'm really happy I did all this. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. Do you have any advice for like anyone who would be interested in joining indoor percussion? Like, what would you say to them?
First, do it.
I say just do it, put yourself out there. You're not gonna lose anything. Like, you gain so many new experiences, like life experiences and just in band in general.
Definitely practice. I know they say that all the time, but like, you actually have to.
Practice, practice, practice. All the time you can get. Definitely practice. Reach out to people that are in drumline right now. Watch some of the top groups. I feel like it's really, really inspirational watching a group of people that have been doing it for maybe like 4 or 5 more years than we have.
It's going to be intimidating. There will be a lot of challenges, especially compared to marching band, because again, you're the center of attention, so there is a lot more things that could kind of go wrong on your end, but don't be intimidated by that. Mistakes will happen, you will hit wrong notes, you'll break sticks, all of that, but it's all just part of the experience. It's something you need to go through, and once you can kind of get that in your head, like, yeah, this is fine, I'm not fazed by this, you'll love it. You will absolutely love this thing to death.
Just learn your scales. It's really not that hard to get in. Just know your scales and warm-ups, and then you'll have a blast the rest of the season.
Go Mavs. And yeehaw.